Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we will be learning about how to answer questions on structural and organisational features in the reading exam. Remember, structural features and organisational features are the same thing. It's all about how the text is organised visually for the reader. These features include headings, subheadings, paragraphs, bulleted and numbered lists, pictures or illustrations, charts, maps, tables, diagrams and timelines, and sidebar or text boxes, amongst others. If you look at this text, some of them have been pointed out for you so you can see how they look on a real-life example. You might want to pause the video here and have a look at some of those features. There are different types of exam-style questions that you might come across in your exam. Let's have a look at some of them. Question type 1. Write down 3 organisational features from the text, and that would get you 3 marks, 1 for each of the organisational features. We're going to use this text in order to answer this question. Highlighted at the top in yellow is a heading. There are also 3 separate subheadings highlighted in yellow and 2 sets of bullet points. So the answer for this question is heading, subheadings, bullet points. Those are your 3 organisational features. Question type 2. Write down 2 structural features from the text and explain how one of them helps the reader, and you would gain 3 marks by answering that question correctly. What does it mean by helps the reader? Well, each organisational or structural feature has a job to do. For example, headings help the reader to know what the whole text is about. Subheadings tell the reader what each section is about. Paragraphs break up the text into smaller parts. And images give the reader a visual image or add emotion to a text. There are lots of different explanations for the different organisational features, but if you can remember 3 or 4 that you find easiest, then that will really help you in the exam, as these explanations can be applied to any question that asks you to explain how they help the reader. Let's have a look at the question again and look at this text in order to answer it. On the right-hand side of the page, there is a breakdown of how the marks are achieved. You get your first mark for writing down your first structural feature, the second mark for writing another structural feature, and the third mark for explaining how one of those 2 features helps the reader. Okay, so we can see that we've got a heading here. So there's your first mark, heading. We get our second mark for writing our second feature, which is, in this case, subheadings. Let's look back at these explanations again. Now I need to decide whether I'm going to explain headings or subheadings. In this case, I've decided to explain how the subheadings help the reader. So if you look at the answer again, you can see I've added the third mark. Subheadings tell the reader what each section is about. Note that I've only explained one of those 2 features. If you explain 2 of them, you would not gain that extra mark for the third point. Make your answer very clear for the assessor when answering this type of question. Example answer 1, headings and subheadings dash tell the reader what each section is about, and example answer 2, heading and subheadings tell the reader what each section is about. So, answer number 1 is not a very good answer. This is because the assessor can't tell which organisational feature you are explaining. Question type 3. Identify one organisational feature in each text, A, B and C, and explain how they help the reader, and you get 3 marks for this. Here is text A. I'm picking heading. From text B, I'm picking paragraph. And from text C, I'm picking navigation bar, which is also known as hyperlinks or links to other pages. So in order to get the 3 marks, I must explain how each one of these help the reader. So from text A, the heading tells the reader what the whole text is about. From text B, the paragraphs structure the text for the reader. And text C, the navigation bar, identifies the relevant area of the website or helps the learner locate the information that they need. Always remember to read each question properly when you're answering it to ensure you get all the marks available to you. I hope you learned something useful from this video, and thank you for listening.